In the past, Skye has been outshadowed by agents like Sova and Fade in the initiator position, but recently she has been working her way back into the meta because of how amazing her kit can be where darts and reveals lack. So let's look at our top 8 tips to help you take your Skye gameplay to the next level. Let's get right into it. The first tip every aspiring Skye player should know is how to help your team take control on the battlefield. You should be using your guiding light ability at the start of every round to gather valuable information. Skye's flashes are on a relatively short cooldown and are extremely hard to avoid. By throwing your hawk into the key areas of the map, you can quickly detect any enemies who might be lurking nearby and gain a strategic advantage over your opponents. An example would be outside B main on split. If you were to use a flash and don't spy enemies outside of B main, your team will get a head start on their rotations to help A, or allow someone on your team to lurk up into this position. This is especially helpful for Skye mains, as her support abilities work best when she has a clear understanding of her surroundings. Whether you're playing on offense or defense, using your flash to scout out the area can help you plan your next move and avoid getting caught off guard by the enemy team. So the next time you're entering a new round, don't hesitate to use your guiding light to gain the upper hand and lead your team to victory. Tip number 2 is all about maximizing the value of Skye's insane ultimate. Skye's Seeker can be a game changer in ranked games, but it's important to use it wisely. For best results, try to use it in the mid-round, when there are fewer enemies alive, so that you can make more accurate decisions about where to go and what to do next. The Seeker can also be particularly effective when used to clear out an area such as sight or a choke point, allowing your team to push forward with confidence. However, be aware that it is not foolproof, and can be countered by smart enemies who know how to dodge or shoot it down. If you use your Seeker ultimate at the very beginning of the round, more likely than not, all 3 of the charges are going to clump together. When this happens, the information from the ultimate loses a lot of value, since either one player will quickly take out all the charges with a single mag, or the information on the enemy's positions will come in too late to make appropriate rotations. As such, it's important to communicate with your team and coordinate your ultimate usage carefully. By doing so, you'll be able to make the most out of this powerful ability and take your Skye play to the next level. Oh, and that reminds me, if you're looking to become a better Skye player, it can really help to check out Ye's course over on our website ProGuides.com. In his course, he covers team play, executing your role, and game sense among many other things. And it can make a huge difference if you're trying to learn the game. You can get access for just $8 a month through our new ProGuides subscription. And you'll not only get access to that, but also many other benefits. So check it out today if you're interested. As a Skye player, one of your key tasks is to identify good areas of the map to use your flashes. Ideally, you want to target areas where enemies will have a hard time avoiding the flashes, such as narrow choke points or corridors. Additionally, look for areas where there isn't a lot of cover for enemies to hide behind, so that way they are fully exposed when the flash goes off. Finally, try to target the areas of the map where retreating for the enemies is difficult to do, such as on a site or in a tight corridor. By doing this, you'll be able to use your flashes to maximum effect, potentially even scoring some easy kills for yourself and your team. Just be careful not to blind your own teammates in the process, as friendly fire can quickly turn the tide of a match against you. With practice and careful observation, you'll soon be able to identify the best flashpoints on each map and take your Skye play to the next level. Knowing when to use your heal ability as Skye is crucial in ranked games and our 4th tip. While you can't heal yourself, you can still provide an invaluable service to your teammates by topping them up when they're low on health. One good time to use your heal is on pistol rounds, when players typically have weaker weapons and a little extra health can make a big difference. Additionally, rounds where the enemy team has a weak buy or weapons that doesn't one-shot headshot are also good opportunities to use your heal. But it is important to be mindful of which agents the enemy team is playing, as some can deal significant chip damage over time. In lower ranks, the value of a well-timed heal is often underestimated, so don't be afraid to use it early and often to keep your team in the game. Remember, your job as Skye is to not just frag out, but also to support your team in any way you can. Another great tip for playing Skye is to combo your abilities whenever possible. For example, you can use Skye's Seeker ultimate with her flash ability to increase the chances of Seekers reaching its target and the enemy team being unable to avoid the flash. Similarly, using Skye's flash ability in combination with her dog, which stuns enemies, can be a devastating combo that can leave enemies disoriented and vulnerable. Additionally, using Skye's flashes to support her other abilities like drones, darts, and turrets, or other utility can make it hard for the enemy team to break your teammates' abilities, giving your team a strategic advantage. By mastering these combos, you can become a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. As we continue with the rest of the tips, it's important to note that they are all related to Skye's various flashing mechanics. By mixing, matching, and combining these different tips, you'll be extremely difficult for the enemy team to counter. So buckle up and get ready to take your Skye game to the next level. One of Skye's most unique abilities is her ability to control her flash projectile that can be detonated to flash enemies. However, Skye is vulnerable while guiding the projectile, as she cannot have her weapon out at the same time. To overcome this, skilled Skye players have developed a technique known as the wall ride flash, where Skye guides the projectile along a wall or surface, allowing her to quickly pull out her weapon and be ready to engage any blinded enemies. To execute the wall ride technique, Skye players should aim the projectile at a nearby wall or surface, then use the wall to guide the projectile towards the intended target. Different lineups can be developed to increase the effectiveness of the flash. Since Skye's updated flash, the longer the flash is in flight, the longer the blind lasts. This technique not only allows Skye to quickly pull out her weapon after flashing, but it can also make the flash harder for the enemies to dodge, as it can come from unexpected angles. With practice and mastery of the wall ride technique, Skye players can become even more deadly in combat, able to effectively control the battlefield and keep their enemies on their toes. Skye's flash can be a powerful tool not just for instantly blinding enemies, but also for faking them out and stalling their movements. By holding on to the flash and delaying its detonation, Skye can create hesitation and uncertainty among her opponents, forcing them to turn away or slow down. This can provide Skye or her teammates with opportunities to push or flank while the enemy team is disoriented. However, relying solely on fake flashing or instant flashing can become predictable and less effective over time. Skye players need to mix up their flash timings and techniques to keep the enemy team guessing and maximize the flash's effectiveness. One technique that expert Skye players use is the delayed fake flash. This involves throwing the flash into a wall or corner to make it appear like a fake, and then detonating it at the last second of its duration to catch enemies off guard and blind them. By mastering the art of the fake and stall flashing and combining it with other Skye mechanics, players can become a formidable force on the battlefield, constantly disrupting and disorienting the enemy team. The final tip is called walking flash, and it's a powerful technique for quickly blinding enemies and taking them by surprise. To perform the walking flash, hold down the E key when throwing the flash and simultaneously walk forward towards the enemies. When done correctly, the flash will go off inside your player model, allowing you to avoid being blinded while the enemy team is completely disoriented. The flash is particularly useful in eco rounds, where Skye can act as a sacrificial flasher for her team to take quick fights and gain an advantage. It's important to note that this flash is risky and requires good timing and coordination with your team. However, when executed correctly, it can be a game changer and catch the enemy off guard. So remember to use this flash wisely and only when it makes sense in the context of the game. With practice and good communication with your team, the walking flash can become a valuable tool in Skye's arsenal. In conclusion, playing Skye effectively requires a combination of game sense, communication, and skillful use of her abilities. From understanding how to use her healing ability to its full potential, to mastering the different flashing techniques, the tips discussed in this video can help you become a better Skye player and improve your team's performance overall.